And a lot of the times, what following through will actually show you is like somebody needed that thing you're about to bring to the world. Somebody needed that. There's so many times where even if it's just a video that I'm about to post for content on Instagram or something, even
Yeah.
if it's a video where I was like, oh, I was 5 seconds away from not posting that because self doubts and all that stuff started working, but I still was just posting it. Now I'm getting a DM from somebody like, yo, they sending this message and
I
it's like,
really
yo,
needed
it
that.
had this much impacted and they needed that at that moment. And it's
Yep.
like a lot of the times you you got to work through whatever fears or doubt because it's deeper than you. It's like it's for the collective. The collective need this.
Hey, so welcome everybody to another episode of the Becoming Hue-man podcast. Today, my guest is a rapper. He's an artist, Sunrise. And
Yeah.
welcome, my brother.
Peace and love, family. Peace and love. You already know it's your boy, Sunrise the Divine. We here.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
for having me, family.
It's the pleasure is all mine. Look, when we met, I had no idea you did music, and when I found out you did music, I was super excited because you 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 approach rap in a way that I really want to like dig into today because you approach it from this aspect that I think is really challenging for a rapper to do, and I've experienced that myself, so I could attest to the level of creativity and
Yeah.
thought that you have to put into your music, man. So I'm excited.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, let's get into it. Yeah, I love, you know, the conscious hip hop, the spiritual rap, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, let's dive deep into it, bro. Let's get right into it.
Perfect. To kind of set the stage for our conversation, like when we look back at the history of hip hop, it was born out of a rebellion to being suppressed and
Hmm.
oppressed, and the tone of hip hop is kind of a middle finger to the status quo, a middle finger to the establishment, but
Yeah.
you play with those tones, but you have a spiritual approach that's not gospel. It's still very much in key with what people may be accustomed to listening to, but the message is different. Like how do you be authentic and have that approach?
Wow. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. That was deep when you said like it's spiritual music, but it's not gospel. So how do I come with this approach? So basically, I've been writing music since I was about 7 years old, and I've always been into writing hip hop and stuff. And then I've been freestyling since I was like 15, and started recording at 15. And then when I moved out to LA, I took it a little bit more seriously, and I started doing this. So my always was my approach is just to have fun, keep have fun with it, enjoy it, you feel me, while I'm creating it. Well, I feel like I get the best content and music and messages and like ideas when I'm just really having fun. So my number one thing is like make sure I'm in a place of like, just creating from this place of like just play, play with it, just play with it. Get creative. Don't put yourself in the box, And then I felt like once I've had like a certain inner transformation, you know what I mean? Learning new things, getting deeper into spirituality. My rap and my music has always just reflected whatever my life has been. So since I've been, growing up, if you listen to my song, they're just a reflection of like my experience. You know what I mean? Like I'm writing about my life and experiences or things or ideas or dreams or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So as I've grown into like who I am today, Sunrise, it was just more so my goal was to, how do I make this lifestyle that I'm adapting, becoming a part of, living, just who I'm being, translate into some music and making it just sound dope and hard and like making it cool. You know what I mean? Like the idea was like I want it to be like dope and positive, like my life, but also it's cool and it's like sometimes I feel like the positive stuff gets played as like corny, and I could see where it could come from sometimes, but also it's like there's a lot more dope positive stuff that's also dope. And so I was like, I want to like create that type of vibe and that type of music as well, because
Yeah,
I've seen it from other, I've seen gospel rappers make some hard songs, whereas a lot of gospel rap is considered corny. You know what I mean? But I've seen some online, like some indie, some SoundCloud gospel rappers going crazy, and it's like I want to do that with like my lifestyle, my approach, and make it fun and make it dope.
yeah, and I think that's the authenticity that I hear, come across in your music, and because it's the lifestyle that you're living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Feel free to like shoot stuff back at me too, even though I got like things that I want to ask you. But this could be a two-way street, because I'm sure you may not always get a chance to have the
Right.
type of conversation that I want to have with you with other, people
Right.
who do music and on a creative
Right.
path
So how
also.
long you been doing music then?
Just like you, probably since I was maybe about 14, 13, 14, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's for what was a little bit different for me is I had a time in my life where um I was it was very authentic when maybe I'm from Chicago, and that
Okay.
city has a reputation for being a tough city. So naturally the music got created was like that. And then I had a period where I started to force it to try and do what was popular.
Mm-hmm.
And in recent years I've started to like find myself again, and find my
Yeah.
authenticity again, and that we right back to that's why I was so excited to hear what you were doing, because
Yeah.
to be honest, you could feel like you're on an island when you're doing something that's different. Right now, granted, there's probably thousands of us doing music just like this,
Yeah.
but there's millions who are doing it the other way.
Right. Right.
And so tell me if you share this experience, like when we talk about like meditating, right? And
Yeah.
for so many years, like I think part of the refuge I feel in being creative is music. The creative process of music is very meditative.
Yeah.
And a great example I could give is, have you seen the Last Dance, the Chicago Bulls documentary? Um,
I ain't seen
uh,
that one.
when they was asking Scottie Pippen, um, what are you thinking when Michael Jordan is getting ready to get hot and go into one of those MJ type zones? Scottie Pippen said, "What I'm thinking, get the hell out of the way." And that's how I feel like being with when writing a song. Right? It's like, all right,
Yeah.
once I get out of the way, it just happens.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is. I tell people all the time, and you hear other artists talk about this too. um it's like it's almost like you're channeling, you know what I mean? Because the stuff, at least for me, my personal experience, a lot of my songs, most of my songs that I've released, at least I've written a bunch of songs and recorded a bunch of songs, but a lot of the songs that I've released, they've been like, once I've heard the beat, it's like the concept and the lyrics are like appearing in my head, and I'm translating it into reality. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
I'm in the studio, like trying to get it to sound like how it sounds in my head. It's like it's appearing, and I'm like the translator,
yeah,
the middle ground, the tool, the instrument. in getting there, because there's also times when I write and I'm like using a lot of thought process, and I'm like, okay, this song, there's times when I'm like, okay, I want to finish this song, but it's taking so long to come up with some bars. And it's like I'm thinking really hard. And it's like a lot of the times when it's like that, the songs either take forever to finish or they don't get finished. A lot of the times it's when I'm in that state of just like flow and it's just appearing and it's like, okay, okay, okay. And I am thinking at the same time, but it's more so like universal, like it's like channeling. It's like it's
Yeah,
coming through you, you know?
it is. Like you're filling in the blanks, and then simultaneously, like I know for me, I I'm very aware of the environment at that point. I'm like, all right, nobody move, nobody come in here. I'm trying to hurry up and write all of this down before it's gone because it comes through like so quick.
Yeah.
Now that's crazy. That's super fun, and
Yeah.
you know, I get to work with a lot of musicians in that capacity, but not many rappers, especially who are doing, you know, what they're doing with you know, like on this type of spiritual practice where you know you working on a level of clarity with yourself. So so
Right. That's why another reason why I do it. I'm like, we need more. We need more representation of like making some dope music of people who are on their journey, because there's a lot of people that's on their journey that have been on their journey, that's just starting on their journey, and they want to, just like you change your journey, you change up things, you changing the way you eat, you changing your environment, you changing what you watching, you changing what you listening to, and it's like just because you changing don't mean you still want
you
some
you still gotta,
variety, you still want
yeah,
some
be
choices,
creative.
some options, some dope stuff, you know. And
Absolutely,
it's like we gotta make it, and the message is important.
it is, but that takes growth too, and you know, it.
Yes.
But I can't say this. The once you find the authenticity, then it just kind of comes through, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's not as hard as you think it may be. So
Right.
let me ask you this: like at a certain point, like were you struggling to like balance that kind of rebellious nature of hip hop with with the new type of message that you wanted to share,
Mm.
or did you feel like your message was rebellious in and of itself?
You know what? That's a good question, and I got to answer. So, actually, before I was calling myself Sunrise, I felt like the music I made before then, I was more so in like I was like on my Black Panther phase. You feel me? I was like rebellious, but like it's my main op is the government. You know what I mean? Like the colonialism, colonization, So I was really on like my Black Panther vibe. Um and so that music definitely was very much like out there, like in your face, kicking down doors, public
Yeah,
enemy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like it
yeah,
was like that. And so when I started to like lean into more of a holistic spiritual path, I do feel like in the beginning there was like a teeter totter, because it's like it's going from like all rebellion, you know what I mean, Black Panther vibes, like we doing it ourselves, whatever, whatever, to like, okay, now we're moving into like, okay, we are one, balance out your energy, detox your body. Revolution is evolution. And so it's like balance I felt like in the beginning, maybe there could have been like a back and forth creatively, but I just think it was like a teeter totter. Like then I was more so on like peaceful vibes. I feel like where I'm at now is more of a harmonious, not harmonious. I feel like I was in harmony the whole time, but I feel like now I'm really balancing out the expression of the rebellion side, because that's always been in me. and the conscious side. And I feel like specifically with this new album I just dropped, I'm really teeter tottering on both sides. Like you see the message is the same, but you see the dark and the light aspects, the rebellious side, but the positive side of things just kind of harmonizing with expressing. You know what I mean? Like I'm expressing the love and light, but I'm also like still got that rebellion energy, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, and to be perfectly, fair about the question, monks are, rebellious,
Mm-hmm.
to society, even with the message of peace. So, but I appreciate you answering that question, honestly, because I know that's,
Yeah.
as a creative, like everything you do is super super vulnerable, and if you haven't like trusted the authenticity in yourself, then it could be really easy to not be honest with folks, or feel pressured or offended when people ask you
Yeah.
certain questions. Do given that, like what you're talking about, like, uh, how did your fan base respond to that? Because I know part of you is just like, okay, I got to be authentic to myself, but you still put it out there for people to hear. So like, how did your fan base
I feel like
respond?
complete shift. 360, a whole new, it's a whole new, it's not it's not the same fan
Yeah,
base. They all left. They all
yeah,
left. When the personality changed, they left. You know what I mean? But they're not everybody. They're still, I'll say, like my friends and family and like cousins
yeah,
have more so like childhood friends and people I've grew up with. They've more so been on my journey with me as I've transformed throughout
yeah,
life. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They're around. But
yeah,
like the fan base I was building, like specifically like the base that I was building, yeah, when I shifted, it was like, yeah, all of that changed. I had to start from like, I just started over, and not necessarily in as far as recording music, but like the music I was putting out, yeah, it was reaching a whole different demographic, and I was still changing too. Like my life was changing, especially, in the earlier days of it. And so I feel like now where I'm at, I feel like I've landed, and I've landed in my niche years ago, my niche community, and it's only been growing and cultivating. So now I feel like the base that I got now has been growing and building solid for a couple years, because I felt like I'm in my niche. Like I know a bunch of like us. Like you know how you said it's a thousands of us, but millions of them. I feel like I know a big chunk of the us's. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
commend you, man. I commend you because, one of the things that hold people back in life in general is just having the courage to walk away from something that's not in alignment with who they are anymore. So a lot of times we suppress ourselves to appease who's
Mm-hmm.
been supporting us, even when it's not authentic to who we are anymore. So
Right.
yeah, so I commend you, and same boat as you. That was something I had been working through over the past several years, and just up until like a few years ago was when
Mm-hmm.
I really felt, just as far as music goes, to just do what felt authentic to me.
Right.
Yeah. And so like, I want to jump into a couple of your songs. Uh,
Okay. Let's do it.
yeah, Bridge the Gap. That that
Oh
song was,
yeah.
I just, I love songs like that. Like growing up, whenever I heard a song like that on the album, that was always instantly one of my favorites. Like
Yeah.
just, it's very introspective. It's what do you call it? It's giving perspective.
Yeah.
It it really, it's the artist like stepping outside of themselves to really try to get an idea of uh how other people see them. And
Man. That that song, I that's one of my favorites to perform. You know what I mean? Like that one right there. I didn't perform that song over, man, so many different styles live. You know, that song came to me because I just felt like when at the time period when I was writing it, I think I wrote that song in like 2022 or something. You know, it was shortly after COVID and stuff, you know, and then COVID is still kind of echoing. You know, it's 2022, like it's
Uh
done, but it's not all the way
huh.
faded out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not like how it is now, you feel me? But and I was just thinking like, man, there's so many hidden gems missed between arguments of like generations. Of course, the divide between, you know, all the other cultural divides, but I was just really noticing how each level of generation was kind of being like ignoring the other sides and kind of like having like a bit of arrogance. And I'm like, but we all got the gems we need to paint the whole picture. Like, you know what I mean? And so
Yep.
I'm like, we all need to listen to each other because we all got truths that are true. And then we all got areas where it's like, okay, no, we need this generation for that. And it's like when we put all of that on the table, we can come up with something complete other than our own like, you know, ideology separately. And so I was just like, man, we need to like I was just feeling like that song needed to be made, and I was like, we need to bridge the gap. And it's just like I wanted to tell a story. You know, I didn't want to just say it. I wanted to tell a story with it, and yeah, and like I said, it was just flowing to me when you know I was writing it. It was just flowing, and yeah, I really love that song. I love that song. A lot of people tell me they like that song too.
Yeah. No, it's definitely like other for people who aren't artists. Like they may hear a song and may just feel like, "Oh, yeah, that man, that one's really dope. That's really good." Then like people who are artists, you can tell when another artist was in the zone. Like you could tell, and yeah, that one just really resonate, and yeah, bridging that gap between generations, and that takes a lot of wisdom, and and I think the learning to appreciate the arts in a way that we may have not been in recent years um, can definitely offer some of that wisdom and some of that perspective that we need to bridge the gaps, just like how you did in your song.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
do like in terms of just like, did you face like, was there anything like particular within your life, like family situation, that kind of put you in that mindset where you were feeling maybe misunderstood, or somebody else near you was feeling misunderstood?
Well, you know, that year when I wrote that song, that was a very challenging year for me. That was an extremely tough year. It was like good and bad. It was like one of the best years, like as far as musically, creatively, doing my thing, teaching my class, doing my music. Like it was like the opportunities and where we took it was like wow, boom, 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 like dreams, you know, are manifesting. And also, I had like experienced some of the like toughest shit like that I could ever think of ever. Like, damn, how could so you know that year I was a lot of the times that year I was like in this kind of neutral limbo space because I'm like, damn, this crazy shit, this life shattering, not life shattering, but life shifting thing just happened that I'm not really feeling great about at all. But
Yeah.
also like, wow, got this crazy ass opportunity that's like, wow, I used to dream of this shit. And and so it would put me in like like kind of like a limbo space. Like I would just kind of I don't want to say numb because I was feeling everything, but it was just more so just present. It would force me into like presence, and so I felt like throughout my own friction, and I would look at the world and see friction. I felt like that was just what I was seeing, a disconnect from uh like the generations. And so every time I notice something in my realm or my reality, if I'm like how I said, I'm noticing everybody not listen to each other, I turn within and I'm like, okay, so if this is what I'm noticing, where where do I need to implement this in my life, right? You know, because it's if I'm seeing it at such a grand scale, or even if I'm seeing it at all, it's got to have some. I'm gotta be is me. You know what I mean? So where can I, you know, implement these changes that I'm speaking about in my life? So it just made me really turn within. It was kind of like I seen the external world, and so I kind of turned within because I'm like, if I'm seeing this, you know, and I'm feeling like this is the message I want to put out, like let me analyze all the situations in my life. A lot of things is happening right now that's a little tough. Where am I not listening to certain things? I'm sure people then tried to talk to me or gave me advice, whether I took it or not. It just made me point the mirror at me and just look at like, okay, so where can I implement this? And so I feel like it was a series of experiences that led me to this like thought process.
Okay, yeah, I feel that. And yeah, like if you don't mind me asking, like, what was the opportunity that shattered? Was it just some? Was it music wise, or is this something you could speak
Yeah,
on?
okay, so like I'll just break it down for you. I ain't hiding shit. We got so it was like one of the great things that year was I got booked to teach Trap Chi at Coachella, and Trap Chi is a class that I teach. It's a breathwork class. It's Tai Chi to trap music instrumentals. So I got booked to teach at Coachella, and that was like crazy because I was making my list of festivals I wanted to hit. And I had like Coachella, like, yeah, eventually I want to build up, you know what I mean? I want to get Coachella. And I had wrote like what I wanted to get paid for these events, for these festivals. And I'm thinking like in my head, like, I'm going to build up to it. But then my first festival ever that I got booked for solo, like not just going to festivals who were my friends who's booked. The
Yeah,
first one I got booked for was Coachella. So I was like, wow, that was like the top of the list. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And they paid me what I was literally what I wrote down. And I was like, okay, you know what I mean? I was like,
yeah.
okay, turn up, you know, but at the same time, like I had a real tough relationship breakup. At the same time, I had got robbed and lost. I just went on one tour at the beginning of the year. We had 15 cities. I had 15 cities worth of footage and content, and it was dropped, gone. And it was just like, and it was like, you know what I mean? But still, there was some other blessings like at the Coachella level. And so it was just like, so much stuff was just like,
Yeah,
that could
whirlwind.
make you really go crazy. And it was just like, bro, I can't. What? I just lost all the footage for that tour. You know how much money I spent going on that tour, just indie with friends and stuff. But I'm like, you know how much money I spent for cameraman footage, all this stuff, music video, all this stuff for marketing, and it's just like gone. You know what I mean? And it's just
Wow.
like, and it's like, you know, but not all of it. There was still, like I I got the Coachella footage. I still had the Coachella footage. So I was
Yeah.
like, okay, we missed a bunch of the shows footage, but we got the Coachella, we got the receipts for that. We got some other festivals, and that's what it was. I got all the footage for the festivals, but all the cities that we went to, it was just like poof, that first tour, it was just like gone. And so it was like big things like that and great things like that just happening, and it was like hitting me, pulling me left and right emotionally,
Yeah.
very tough. Like it was breaking down, like in the relation. And then I had to cut off one of my best friends, And at the time, and that was also tough because it was like that was the same time I had broke up with my ex, and it was a tough breakup, and it was just so much, like people I've been rocking with for like 3, 4 years at this time, just boom, just gone. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
just whole scene changed, new characters out. I mean, old characters out, new characters introducing. You know what I mean? And so it's
most
like
definitely.
it
The-
was a tough, crazy year.
And those times in life are always challenging, and you may already have this perspective, but I learned over the years that when you get ready to transition into another phase of life, uh, a lot of the things from the the phase that you're leaving, they start to deteriorate.
Yeah.
And sometimes some of those things are things that you still very much attached to and dependent on, but at the same time you're moving in this other direction. And I mean
Mhm.
that don't excuse the hardship or the pain you might feel, but
Yeah. It's like you know, now, the good thing about all that stuff that happened was it put it did put me in this like zone of like, to simply put, like it is what it is type zone. But it wasn't like a brushing it off or a numb. It was a genuine acceptance. Like, you know what? Because there was like I had got to the point where I was like, at one point I was breaking down, bro, like emotionally. Like I felt like I was going crazy, and because of how intense the emotional pulls were, and I was just with myself. And then it was just like a epiphany, like a realization. It was like, no matter what happens, like I'm actually all right. Like in the moment, I'm good. Like everything is good right now. And so I was like, I'm freaking out and I'm tripping, and it's literally my choice because of the response to the situation. When obviously this is the level of things I'm going to be hit with. So it's like it's either I'm going to accept it or I'm going to choose to respond this way, which is better for my energy. And then it was like boom. I already knew that, but it was more of a embodiment. I really got into like such a deep level of acceptance. Like even to like I like you say, I shifted and became a new person. But even to this day, the way I respond to things now is super like, it takes a lot to like move me off my balance. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
a lot of things can happen, and I'll be like, yeah, I'll just be like, yeah, cool, you're good. You know what I mean? I'm not, and it's genuine though. It's not faking it, because
yeah,
sometimes you think that you have to be like that when you're first on your spiritual journey, and you try to force it. But no, it's like genuine. And another thing, since I've been on my spiritual journey, I always affirm I'm constantly evolving. With constantly evolving, things that don't evolve with you break away, like we're talking about. And so now I'm in a place where I'm like, I just got so much appreciation for whatever experience I've had with whatever's in my life and in my rotation. When it shifts, I'm just like, thank you. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
then it puts me in a space of like even deeper gratitude when I'm like, oh, I've been kicking it with you for like 8 years. You must be evolving with me because you still here. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and so I appreciate the people that's still here too, because I'm like, oh, they got to be evolving because I'm evolving, and we're still like having this harmonious vibe.
yeah. And too, like that's part of just putting forth the effort, on a consistent basis. And that's what transformation takes, and that's what we like to kind of explore on this podcast is just all the different ways you can transform. Just becoming human. It's on a spectrum. It's not just this
Mhm.
this one size fit all. And here, I have conversations with people on their spiritual path, and each one is so unique. And we're talking about rap music, evolution
Yeah,
of what was gangster rap, or into something that's uplifting. So Like I want to, you touched on it a little bit, but I want to dive like even deeper into it. Trap Chi, you know,
Yeah,
what is it?
yeah.
Like the name is so catchy. I know you already gave us a hint. What is it, and how did like your love for trap music influence you to partner with chi, life energy, and
Okay,
in a positive direction?
okay. So trap chi is, in a nutshell, it's Tai Chi to trap music instrumentals. That's the most simplest form. It's a lot deeper than that. It's a martial art. It's a moving martial art. I call it the world's youngest martial art because it was birthed in 2017 by your boy. You know, it takes the aspects of trap music instrumentals and fuses it because they, well, before I get into all that, what got me to create Trap Chi is I'm a massage therapist, and so I've been a licensed therapist for about 9 years, almost 10 years now. That's crazy. The time just be flying. I'm like 10 years, no way, that felt like yesterday. But I so when I was in massage school, every day we would have to give and receive massages after lunch. But before we did the massages, the teacher will always play some Tai Chi on the video. We would be doing Tai Chi on, like, watching this Tai Chi teacher on YouTube. And so we would do like 10, 15 minutes of Tai Chi every day before massage because
Yeah.
their philosophy was a lot of the Tai Chi movements are similar to massage movements. So it'll just like help train your body to be more in flow when you're massaging.
Yeah.
And when I was doing Tai Chi at massage school, it I was already, that was like the beginning of my spiritual journey, that time era. And the Tai Chi really transformed, you know, it transformed the way I was dealing with a lot of emotions and a lot of just energy that I had, a lot of intense energy. I got a lot of intense energy, a lot of emotional energy. And the Tai Chi really like changed me a lot. Like I fell in love with it. And then my first thought was like, everybody in my old hood need this, and I'm from West Virginia and Ohio, and like the hoods, and and I'm thinking like we all need this because everybody just running around highly emotional and stressed out, and I'm like, we all need this, but I'm like, they not gonna take it like this, like not regular Tai Chi. I'm like, how could I make this attractive? And so I started thinking like, what if I played trap music and kind of molded it and changed it a little bit? And then I kind of felt like I can't do that. That's like disgraceful. That's like this, you know what I mean? So it was kind of in my head for like 9 months, a year. And then I was just like, you know what? I've been thinking about this. I'm gonna just do it. My first like idea was to do like home videos, like P90X. You remember
Yeah.
Insanity?
Tabo.
You remember
Yeah.
yeah, the little Tybo. You remember Insanity?
Uh-huh.
P90X out there. So I was like, I'm
Yep.
gonna do some Trap
P90X.
Chi videos and just do the home videos, boom, boom, and just teach people. And then people was just like, I think maybe my classmates or somebody got me to be like, just do it at the park and like bring people, and because I want to know. And I'm like, all right. At this point, I'm still feeling like imposter syndrome. Like, am I even a teacher? You know what I mean? Like, who can I? Am I even allowed to teach this?
Uh-huh.
Am I qualified? And so I was just like, nah, let's just do it. And then, I started. That's when I started teaching in person. Boom. And the next thing I know, I start doing my friends' events. Years later, hosting my own classes and Trap Chi events. Like I said, 2022, we got it to where we got booked at Coachella. We hit like 17 cities that year. We did 2 independent tours that year, 6 festivals. So it was like, just kept at it. Started teaching online too, COVID. We did the Zoom classes. And then to this day, we still do live on Instagram and TikTok every week. We do classes Monday through Friday, and so I teach online and I teach in person. And I'm based in LA, but when I can, I make it happen to go to other cities and stuff now. Like now, I'm on the mission to like spread it more and like actually start training more teachers. Because as of now, I'm like one of the only teachers, but
Yeah.
like it's getting after all this spreading of it, it's like more and more it needs to be taught more by more people, you know?
Yeah. So that's amazing, man. And like I love hearing stories like that when like you trust that creative inspiration, especially when it's something that you feel like could be disrespectful to the
Mm-hmm.
art, but at the same time you feel this calling to do it because it could bring people into it who might need it the most. And
Mm-hmm.
that's a really challenging thing for people to do, man. Again, I commend you on that too. Like I talk with people all the time, off the record, who
Mm-hmm.
get to those forks in the road in life where they had a great idea and they talked themselves out of it for
Mm-hmm.
some of those same reasons. They didn't think people would accept it. It was too different. It was too this. It was
Yeah.
too that. It was, and so, like to know people who follow through on those things, just that's who follow through in general, especially on their passions. It's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. It's a gift, and I'm glad you got a chance to share that. I'm sure you shared it other places too, but even more people get to hear that, and hopefully that encourage other people to do the same thing.
Yeah, because it's like it's a reason a lot of the times it's a reason why it's, you know, popping up in your idea. Cause it's
Yeah,
like I feel like God or the universe or the most high is just like willpower and consciousness and is want to use whatever means necessary to just create, right? And it's like you're if you're getting this vision, it's a reason why, you know, and a lot of the times what following through will actually show you is like somebody needed that thing you're about to bring to the world. Somebody needed that. There's so many times where even if it's just a video that I'm about to post for content on Instagram or something, even
yeah.
if it's a video where I was like, oh, I was 5 seconds away from not posting that because self doubts and all that stuff started working, but I still was just posting it. Now I'm getting a DM from somebody like, yo, they sending this message and
I
it's like,
really
yo,
needed
it
that.
had this much impacted and they needed that at that moment. And it's like a lot of the times you you got to work through whatever fears or doubt because it's deeper than you. It's like it's for the collective. The collective need this, and so I've had that vision, and I'm like, no, because this is going to serve people, more people than I know. Whatever vision I had, I know it's going to expand just by how much it's already impacted people, and like a lot. You know, the crazy thing about Trap Chi, a lot of people told me who started doing Trap Chi, they would say, you know, I've always wanted to do Tai Chi, but I was always intimidated to start because every time I see people doing Tai Chi, it looks so like professional and like they look like they're like in mastery, and I'm like, can I even start? You know what I mean? And they felt like Trap Chi made them feel more, just a little bit more comfortable approaching it as a beginner. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And um, and it's just like, why not? Why I had to think to myself too, like, why not? It's a form of breath work that everybody could use. You know what I mean? Regardless of what I think, it could serve somebody. If it could serve somebody beneficially, and just I would think about the transformation that I felt Tai Chi did for me, and I was just like, that was major. So it's like, why not share what you know at least? You know what I mean? If
yeah,
people are stuck in that fork in the road, just do what you do. And the crazy thing is, if you worried about people saying something, people always gonna say something, whether it's good or bad. You know what I mean? That's it.
yeah.
Like you can't avoid that. People gonna
Yep,
say something.
yep,
You know what I mean?
yep. Yeah, no, most definitely. They said if even if you don't do it,
Yeah.
and, at least you know you follow through, and man, being that example, it removes everything else. I forget the quote, but I don't want to butcher it. But when you're all the credit goes to the person that's in the arena, and
Hmm.
win, lose, or draw, if you want to use terminology like that. Like if you had the courage to play, then all the credit goes to you.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
um, yo, Libra Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Libra Moon. Yeah. That's a good one.
Huh? Yeah.
That's because I have a Libra Moon. Um, it was funny. I wrote that when I was at an airport in Miami. I just landed in Miami, and I heard this beat, and I was like, I'm snapping. I had to like stop walking. Like I was walking with the headphones in, and I just started rapping in my head. I'm like on my way to get like a juice or a smoothie or a bowl or something, and I'm like, oh, and then like I said, it just appears to me, and so I like literally stopped what I was doing, sat down, brought out my pen and pad, and was just like, and it was just like that's just one of them ones where I'm like, I love like that Gucci Man trap sound, like just 808 knocking, thumping. You got a nice simple flow. So for
Yeah.
me, I always like interlacing them dope lyrics in them, and it was just like that's one of them ones that felt real fun to me. You know what I mean? And that's another one
Definitely.
of my favorites to perform. Perform it, especially with a live band, because that is insane.
Yeah. That certainly is. Yeah. Nah, I definitely. Um, when I heard that song, another one where I was like, oh yeah, he was in the zone on this one too. It is just I don't know. I felt like that was that song, not even really knowing what trap chi was, just hearing
Mm-hmm.
you use that phrase trap chi. If I was going to pick a song that embodied that, it would have been that one.
It would have been Libra Moon.
It would
I
have
could see
been
that.
Libra Moon. It is the balance of something that sounded authentically trap,
Yeah, yeah.
but the lyrics took you somewhere else.
And the lyrics is because they got to, man. I'm like, at this point, I gotta, aiming straight at your soul piece. It's not even at your head no more. I'm not even aiming at your head no more. It's going straight through your head to your I'm aiming for your soul, boy. It's like, because I just feel like we're in the space of music right now where it's just like, wherever, it's a lot of information, not just music. It's a lot of information. And we got to put that. I want to see the world I want to see. I'm gonna talk about and I'm gonna push it the same way other people and other outlets push the world they want to see. And I'm like, people just need to hear this because people need to feel good. Even my friends who do music of this spiritual nature, my female friends, my male friends, they all got different styles. It's dope. It's just like we need to just be putting this stuff out there so that way it's in the airwaves, these thought patterns. We need more and more people hearing this and repeating these words in their head and visualizing these words. And yeah, so that's one of them ones. And it's good that you say that about the trap cheat because I feel like the 808 specifically is like a pivotal thing as far as trap music. And the philosophy with trap chi is it's a full chakra activation when we do the practice because as you know, we are affected by frequencies and they always tell you how trap music and heavy rap music is a low frequency and they're right, it does correlate with your root and sacral and solar plexus chakras, and it does stimulate those chakras. But with Trap Chi, the music is stimulating those chakras while the actual practice, the movements, the breath work are stimulating the higher chakras. And so you're getting that full chakra activation. So that's what I tell people because I'm like, just because it's like a tool, just because it activates your lower chakras doesn't mean it's bad. It just means don't live there. Yeah, we shouldn't be blasting trap music all day, every day. There's music that affects your higher chakras and all that, but don't correlate that with bad because we need every center in our body. It's there for a reason. Every chakra center is there for a reason. We just got to be intentional, and balanced,
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm glad you made that point too. And that's um uh a great way to put that too. And I think that would be we kind of hinted at that at the beginning of this when I was talking about how like traditionally the tone of hip hop was very rebellious, and like you just
Yeah.
hinted at, like trap music kind of went a little beyond that. It was like
Yeah.
it's not only a level of rebellion but a level of arrogance, um, and that really does. And to be honest with you, it's a survival instinct music.
Yeah.
And most of the guys who traditionally did trap, that's what the songs were about. That's what the trap was about. It was about
Right.
rising from survival to prosperity through trapping.
Right.
And
But the thing I could respect about them, at least, like we talk about authenticity,
mm-hmm.
at least they were authentic with it. Most of those guys were in the headspace of once we out, we did this to get out, and once we out, we out. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
yeah,
like this is my story. I'm not saying this is how I want to live my whole
yeah,
life. This is
yeah,
what I've been through and what I had to do, and I did it to get out, and now I'm out and I'm good. And I respect that more because it makes me even respect that form of art. Like even though it could be rowdy or a little dark or something, it's like, nah, this is his experience. He had to grow through this and he did or whatever. And rather than, obviously there's a lot of music that is popular from people who aren't being authentic. They're not living like that and they're just doing it for money. And it's like, that's what makes it such, like you said, a little bit beyond the rebelliousness, because the rebelliousness of the hip hop. Because it's like, I could rock with the rebelliousness if it's like we got morals, integrity, and we like, oh, this is my story. I had to get out and now I'm out. You feel me? But not when it's like for manipulation, for
yeah.
money, for a singular person, so one person can get rich off of lying.
I like to add this too, like just to your point that you was making about a lot of the guys who were doing trap music, and to also speak to the power of what you're doing. The music had enough power to help them transform their lives. At least to help change a circumstance, whether they transform their lives for the better or worse. It had the power to help them change a circumstance. And
Right.
if you are using that to help people tap into that space, that survival space, but also combining it with a practice that helps them grow beyond that,
Mm-hmm.
that's incredible. And completely original from where I stand. And man, I'm super happy for you. Like I'm super happy
Yeah.
that you're doing it.
Yeah, you know what it is also too, because what I've learned is like through Tai Chi and like studying and the Qigong and stuff, it's like also we're getting bamboozled into wasting and misusing our most the energy that we could change our life with. You feel me? And it's like the way the world and the media and everything got it set up, it's like the root chakra energy that we conjure up at the base of our spine is being reallocated either just out like leaking or just not being used at all or being used in very toxic ways. And it's like this is the energy that if we can get a hold of and just put that pipe back in the right direction and get it flowing within us, that's when you start seeing things shift in your reality because your energy is not getting wasted. And a lot of us aren't even in the headspace of even knowing about energy to even know that their energy is being wasted. They wonder why I'm so upset. I'm depressed. My life is doing this, da, 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 da. And it's like, because you don't know energetically how much of an impact you're having on your own body by just being ignorant, by not even knowing.
Yeah,
And so
yeah,
it's like, I also wanted to do this practice to help people just become aware. Do you know that you're made of energy, and that if you just take 5 deep breaths, 6 deep breaths, and calm down, you can start to feel the energy in your body. You can start to feel where there's stagnation, where there's tension, all this stuff that we like take pills for, we go to doctors, psychiatrists for.
yep, yep,
And not to say we don't need them, they definitely serve a purpose, but a lot of it can be healed if we just start to self regulate our system back to the way it's supposed to be. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
using our energy consciously instead of unconsciously just wasting our energy with the media, the toxicity, the lust, the greed, the what they call it, what that one sin where you eat a lot, the gluttony, all this stuff is draining our energy. And it's got a big impact on why a lot of people aren't just feeling good. And so the goal is like, let's just learn how to feel good at first before we do
right,
anything. Let's just learn how to feel good,
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's spot on, and yeah, energy work. Like that's something I always like talk to people about. Is just like emotional um, awareness, right?
yeah,
Not even emotional intelligence. I think one of the highest forms of education. Um,
hmm
it really, in a lot of ways, should be the first form of education. And when you do practices like Tai Chi, Qigong, breath exercises, all of these things, infusing it with something that people are familiar with, like popular music, trap music, that's essentially what it's doing. Is helping you strengthen your emotional intelligence, right? So you can
yeah,
understand what's happening in your body um, at all times, and you can see how you fell short in ways
hmm
that you may not have been cognizant of in the past. And to attest to what you're doing, I that stuff has worked wonders in my life. Breath exercises and qigong, and so just like you, I make a concerted effort to just share my experiences with people, so
hmm
they could have examples if and when they're ready to connect more with themselves.
yeah, yeah. That's good, bro. Thank you for your service, bro. Because this is a service.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have anything for me? I
Yeah, man. So you were at the breatharian retreat,
yeah,
and
yeah.
how was that? Like, so how was that? Was that just like how was it? How was it? Tell me how it was.
Oh, that was super cool, and I enjoyed it a whole lot, and I think one of the things I liked, um, um, one of the things I liked most about it, especially at the retreat that we had, was there was a lot of sound work involved, uh, and
Mm,
and Elena had the gongs and sound bowls and did some work on the headphones and tuning forks. And because I'm very aware of that science, I was super.
yeah.
I was super excited about that because I'd never had a tuning fork like ring over my body, and she had a huge one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so for anybody who doesn't know what a tuning fork is, they used tuning forks to tune traditionally, like I guess big string instruments or whatnot. But some people found that if you ring a tuning fork over a person's body, and those frequencies are healing, then it will promote healing in those areas. So, she
hmm
did some stuff like that. That was really cool. But then on another note, like I was sharing with some other folks, I think the biggest gift I got from it is when, you know how like when um, you walk into a room, you go somewhere, you live in LA, so I might not even have to tell you this, but a lot of times you're spaces with people and everybody's kind of measuring each other. And
Hmm.
and that could become draining. Like every time you walk into a room, you gotta explain who you are, what
Yeah.
what you
Yeah.
do, like list all of your credentials. It's and to walk into a space like that where everybody was like, hey, and the energy was high, but nobody cared who you were. And
Right. Oh, that's good.
yeah, yeah,
It
and
sounds real tribal.
it is, and it was super eclectic, right? We is people, there's a guy there who lives in the wilderness, you know, um, other folks there who have businesses, who are physicians, who are students, who are um, influencers, who were. So it was just super eclectic, and it was a space where everybody got a chance to just be authentic with high energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Well, good. I'm glad. I was wondering how it went. I'm glad. I'm glad. Yeah, it was cool. Cool to meet you there. Seen the homie Jerome.
Oh yeah.
Seen
Yeah.
Ellie Tone.
Yep. Jerome, he's the what do you call it? He's the sensei, the qigong sensei.
Yeah, he be doing the Qigong. Jerome was out. Jerome was actually one of at my very first few trap chi classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jerome was at my trap chi, one of my very first ones. Yeah. I met Jerome probably like what was that, 2019, 2018?
At a
Some time
Vipassana
ago.
retreat, right?
No, we met in a different lifetime.
Okay.
We did the Vipassana retreat together, but we had
Ah.
already known each other for at least 4 years.
Okay.
I met him on a movie set, on a TV show set.
Well, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
we was doing we as audience members in this TV show, and it was like a whole show they was doing, and yeah, me and Jerome met up in a cipher. There was a big cipher circle happening.
Nice.
Jerome was beatboxing.
Yeah.
He's doing the craziest beatboxes ever, like the craziest, he got some sounds that you didn't even know he had,
Oh
and
man,
um
I gotta ask him about
everybody was
those.
rapping, and I was rapping. Yeah, I was rapping, and everybody was rapping. Yeah, and that's how I met Jerome. But then we linked up a couple years later. That's when we really got linked in. A couple years later.
No, that's awesome. I gotta ask him about the beatboxing skills. He gonna be cracking up. He
So he
not
go
gonna
crazy.
look. Wait till you see this.
Yeah, yeah. He made this horn sound. Ask him to do the horn. He did some crazy horn sound that sound like it was a real horn. I was like, bro, how are you doing that?
No, that's awesome. That's amazing. But I would have loved to have been there. I would have been cracking up myself.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do you got anything else for me before like we get ready to wrap it up?
No, I don't have anything else. I really liked our bill. Yeah, we talked about a lot. It got me a lot of memories stirred up, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
man, this is good. Yeah, it's a good bill. It's a good bill.
yeah. I enjoyed it too. So yeah, so just and thank you again. And just want to ask you, uh, what do you do to protect and build your energy? Like not even build it, but you talked about Tai Chi. But what do you do to protect your energy? Being so outwardly expressive, and and what are you optimistic about?
For me, it's in the routine. The keeping the balance is all in the routine. Like you have a responsibility to change your routine as your frequency changes. because it's not the same anymore. When you weren't ever meditating, you not meditating for a month is different than you been meditating for 2 3 years and you take a month off. That's different. It's not the same month break. You gotta, it's a different impact level. And so I mentioned earlier, like, constantly, I always set the intention to constantly evolve. That's one of my affirmations. I'm constantly evolving, constantly evolving. And I notice with that, I cannot waver with, I'll say, I say routine, but like spiritual routine. So it's like in the risings when I wake up, meditate, prayer. This is for me. Meditate,
Yeah.
prayer, exercise, affirmations, like all of them. All in the morning before I do my trap sheet class at 9 a.m. I'm up at like 5 6, touching nature at least a couple, at bare minimum a couple times a week. Gotta ground the feet, absolute must. And and the tools too, the sage, the smudging, that the sage and the smudging, it's all about what works for you. A lot of it is like placebo, to be real. It's all ritual, it's all in your mind. Whatever makes you feel more in your mind like you're doing it, do it. But the routine is very important. I found that when I fall off my routine 3 4 5 days and I ain't did my meditations, woke up intentionally, went to sleep intentionally, I ain't said my prayers, I ain't exercised, did no movement, I notice that's when the imbalance starts coming easier and easier.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, it's very important. Like even today I was thinking like, it done been 6 days since I didn't put my bare feet on the earth. I'm thinking like, I was thinking today, I'm like, when I'm gonna go to the park? I'm gonna go after the interview, or you know what I mean, or before the interview? Because it's like, I'm already feeling it within. Like I'm feeling my body like connect with the earth. You need,
Yeah.
you miss like a couple days. It's time to connect. And so it's like the routine for me was golden. If I'm on my routine, that's when I feel like my energy is so balanced and it can't be budged even a little bit. And so I feel like the routine is perfect. Come up with your own routine, self-care routine. It don't got to be too long, but just something intentional to where you're acknowledging the renewal of energy, the releasing of baggage and all that stuff. And I feel like that's what keeps me balanced. The routine, the
Yeah.
daily routine. It's like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
You don't want to go 3 4 days without brushing your teeth.
Yeah. No, I respect that. And
Mhm.
lastly, what are you optimistic about?
I am optimistic. Well, I'm optimistic because I feel like this life that I'm living now, like, is at the will of my command. You know what I mean? And I feel like I've already reached a certain level of dreams, like my teenager dreams. Like I've reached those, right? And so when you reach like your goals or your big goals or your dream, you're at this crossroads of like, what next? You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
with my patience and acceptance, it's made me be like, literally whatever I want. And so it's like, I've seen life like a video game. I want to learn this skill, I can load it like the Matrix. Like if I want to learn this skill through action and effort, I can load this skill in my reality if I want. So what do I want to do? I want to learn to play piano. I want to release a book. Let's release a book. Let's write a book. So I'm excited because I feel like I'm very free and I feel like I'm in a position to make life whatever I want, and I know it will happen because that's the life I'm living right now is like a previous mode of what I wanted. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm definitely living the life I want. So I can mold this. I'm really excited about just being able to just be creative with that, just seeing how much more I can change reality into doing whatever I want to do.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well said. And
Hold on,
do
I want to add something to that though. I
yeah,
want to
yeah.
add something. But the thing you that I felt, I'll say to me personally, thing that I felt called to do more, like I'm saying, like, oh, I can do whatever I want, da 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 da. as I felt like my cup is full and I've achieved more, my desires have leaned more towards service. So it's like, how can I, whatever I create, serve more? How can I, whatever I'm doing, how can it serve the earth, the people? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so I'm excited to be able to like create things in the way I want that will also serve people. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, and I didn't doubt that that was your intent to begin with,
Mm-hmm.
but it's cool that you clarify that.
Yeah, yeah.
uh,
Thank you, family.
yeah, for sure. It do. So where can people find a new album? You just dropped one, so this is perfect timing.
Yeah, so I just dropped an album called Back Whipping. Uh, you can find it everywhere now. Well, by the time you listen to this, for sure, everywhere. Right now, it's released on everywhere but Apple Music right now. So it's on Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, anywhere you see Bandcamp. Anywhere. It's loading on Apple Music now. It just takes a couple. We just released it a couple days ago, and sometimes the Apple Music lags a little bit when you upload it. So it'll be on Apple Music soon, but it's literally everywhere else. Spotify, YouTube, everywhere. It's on everywhere right now. Back Whipping by Sunrise the Divine, and we got more projects on the way.
Awesome.
But definitely go bump that one because that one I really like. I really enjoyed that body of work.
Okay, yeah, I'm excited to listen to it too. I listened to your 2024 album, and those were some of the jams we were talking about today. That was perfect. So everybody can go back and listen to both of those.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
That one, those songs we were talking about were from an album called Super Saiyan Sunrise.
yeah. So
Hmm.
so cool, man.
So
It's
I
been
appreciate you having me, family.
well, yes, sir. The pleasure's been all mine, and thank you for doing it as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording right now.
Yes, sir. See you soon, family. Peace and love.
Peace.